Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome on into a daily reading. We're going to start off with an overall energy, but I just heard the random message before I press record of if it's for you, you'll know. If it's for you, you'll know. That's somehow playing into this day for a lot. But getting an overall energy right from the middle, we have 6 of Wands. So I feel there's somewhat of a more peaceful energy in comparison to recently, even though I do feel like the peace has been a bit more on the rise for this collective. And it seems like you're going to be naturally victorious throughout this specific day because it feels like you need it the most. Does that make sense? Where you've been putting your efforts, your resources, your focus. Now you're starting to feel a sense of even seeing progression coming to be. I just heard traction. And there's a sense of you kind of energetically feeling like you're about to begin a race. You know, I'm seeing somebody on a track, almost like a bull with their back leg, kind of pumped and ready to get the race going, to just charge forth. And it might be, a bit of a built up sort of energy that a lot of you have been feeling. I can relate, where things have just been feeling too stuck or too stagnant or back and forth, up and down. And however it has been for you, you know your situation best, your path best, and yourself. And now it's a time where you kind of want to charge forth, where it feels like maybe something has been released recently, whether it was within your control partially, fully, or not. It's just a sense of you feeling less Eight of Swords like, and now you're ready to conquer your path more so and make things happen. And so they're saying it's not all about your current day and future efforts, but you may have already started to experience this, but I feel either way, in this period, you start to see past efforts start to kind of do a bit better. It reminds me of last night. Yesterday I decided not to post on my TikTok, right? I'm kind of back and forth about it, or, I don't always put in consistent effort like here, but I started to see more than one recent post of mine, which doesn't happen to me often on there. It started to gain more views, and I gained a few followers because of it. And it may not seem like a lot for, people tuning in or other, big creators, but it meant something to me. It was more symbolic of things not having to be so consistent and so, even draining, to the point of gaining at times minimal effort or minimal results, minimal progress. But now is the time for things from the past, currently, and moving forward to really actually add up to, the victory, the results that you truly deserve. And so Spirit's saying, what do we do with this? It's going to be up to you. It's going to be, part of your spirit guides kind of playing into it and wanting to assist you with, where to, take things moving forward. But they're saying don't let that sort of ready to charge forth energy get the best of you throughout this day, because, I naturally feel like some of you will still be working a job or needing to run your business or taking care of your loved ones, business obligations otherwise. And so that can still make you feel a little bit like you can't charge forth, because I don't feel you're completely ready to. But it's more this energy, once again, where you can now take things in the right direction and not feel like you have to, burn yourself down into the ground in order to, I did not love that wording, in order to get to where you want to be plus some. Strolling seems to be significant. Why do you feel like strolling away from a situation for a time being, for a sake of, I want to say better energy, for a sake of clearing your mind, maybe to explore a bit more, to break away from the confinement of staying in the same situation too much or for a specific period of time? You're going to feel like there's a lot of importance in regards to your skin, your voice, and your emotional state. Okay, let me just drink some water. As Spirit's telling me personally that I'm doing a lot better in comparison to recently, I know why that is for me, right? But and it's not just one thing, but it just goes to show, and I'm sure you've heard me say recently, I'm not loving where I'm living, and I'll stop speaking about it so much, but if it comes up, it's meant to. But even with the energy in that situation being, not what I need at this point, it's, to an extent working against me, I'm still taking charge of certain aspects of my life while Spirit's assisting me otherwise, and I'm feeling a lot better. And so it reminds each of us that your current day circumstances, your current day commitments, even though I feel a lot of you really desire, significant change moving forward, it doesn't mean that you need to continue in the negative direction that you have been, or it doesn't mean things have to go negatively in any way, shape, or form. It's to show that you are meant to kind of take charge of things a bit more with this energy that we're all, feeling to an extent, if not fully. And then you feel better, you look better, you produce and you accomplish easier, better quality, and people start to see you in the right light. Well, that was from the first energy, 555 on the timestamp. And when you start to smile a bit throughout this day, I want you to notice who or what really had something to do with that. Whether it was somebody or multiple people online, it could have been somebody at work or in person otherwise, it could have been a spirit or two. And it could have been yourself. But if it's more than one, so be it. But I feel Spirit saying what makes you smile at this point, what really brightens your mood, your energy, your way of viewing things and proceeding forward, it's super important. And there's a delicacy about you and your energy. There's a simplicity, but a complexity all the meanwhile. But I feel there's a true purity in the midst of which, right? And, okay, as I just did that, there's sort of a focus to an extent on the whirlwind of your life, maybe feeling like there's certain storms that come through. For some of you, it feels like, tornadoes coming in and destroying a ton, or just everything for that matter. But again, it's not, we've said this before in readings, it's not about letting the past hold you back, but it's about knowing that what you've been through, whether you want to remember this, realize this or not, is going to help you with what you're wrapped up with and dealing with now, but even more so moving forward, okay? And so they kind of want you to imagine if you walked an extremely perfect path, no ups and downs, no difficulties, no lessons, you would not feel prepared for what lies ahead, okay? Even if you would think you were, you just wouldn't be. And so we need to trust in the path that we've walked and even struggled with up until this point, as things are on the up and up, or they're about to be, okay? But the Ace of Wands and the Judgment card coming out to add on to this reading, because I feel like on one note, you can hear in the way I'm channeling in comparison to recently, you're not feeling like rushing. You may not even feel like it's possible, and this is helping. But it's to say that you are kind of beginning again, in a sense, with the Ace of Wands, where your mind, has been on fire, but this on fire sort of passion within your mindset, even due to spirits at times, will feel different. It will feel empowering instead of draining and overwhelming and too consistent, right? And even if it does end up being consistent at certain points for one, if not multiple reasons, it feels different. You know what I mean? And so now you can process things correctly, even slowly, efficiently, and you get to go through more releasing if you look at the Judgment imagery. But it honestly feels like some spirits will come through at certain points for some of you with the intention of being completely honest with you, and some of them kind of inch towards that honesty so that you can digest it more, depending on the type of soul you are and whatnot and what you've been through. But either way, it's a day where you start to feel the honesty really making a difference, and even the honesty that you're kind of giving yourself in a very delicate way, where maybe you're trying to clean things up or improve things in certain ways, and again, feel better. But to expect for yourself to, and even for your path to be improved and cleaned up and become ultra successful overnight, is just not realistic, right? Sure, it can happen in certain rare scenarios, but in your case, in my case, I really feel like steady progression and improvement and steps in the right direction is what we need the most at this time, even though we feel like, charging on forward. And so you may find that other people's energies start to take a highlight, because again, I feel like they are kind of being adjusted at this time. You know, you may start to realize more of who is noticing you with a sense of judgment and maybe even false annoyance or concern in a negative sense, while other people's energies, you know, noticing you, maybe staring at you, coming towards you, seem to feel very positive in intentions and otherwise, seem to feel trustworthy. I need you to understand that you are feeling energy being drawn to this reading at this point very, very accurately. It may not be new to you, but you're feeling it even more so accurately. And you've learned a lot about who and what to actually trust, you know, up until this point. And I feel you're going to remember that all of the options that you have are just options, right? And you can easily narrow it down. It's like, say you want to go and choose a new situation. You can, you know, pick and choose which ones feel right to you in the moment as far as the listing and whatnot, or whatever. But, you know, you can actually just go and see one place to live and it would be the right one. You can meet up and start to date one person. It will be the right choice for you. Or, you know, go and interview for the right position and it will be the right one, you know. That was an interesting way to put it. But you get the point. They're saying just because there are a ton of options doesn't mean that you need to entertain them all right? Trust yourself, trust spirit selectively. As they're saying, you know, on another note, you're going to feel like more and more you have a lot going on, but it's selective. It's your choice. It's going to feel right. It's going to feel like you want to be wrapped up with things more because of the way the energy has recently and throughout this day is shifting for you. And you're going to feel like spirit is saying, buckle down, you know, again, selectively and in the right ways and get things done, but don't rush. Do things your way, and you're going to find that, again, your past, current, and future efforts pay off more than ever because, my friend, you are meant to be victorious, all right? So those are your messages. I hope they were truly helpful. I am sending you so much love and light.